Greetings, brothers! The fear of missing out Blood Angels box is here. We couldn't be more excited. We've noticed some teeny nuances that you can pick from the article. We've got the good, the bad, and we've got the very ugly. So stick with me for the next 5 minutes. We'll talk about what we saw today, what we've got to look forward to. Alright, let's jump in. So here we have the article over in Warhammer Community, and I will link this down below. So you can embrace your red thirst in a new Blood Angels army, Codex, and more, I guess, right? So few Space Marine chapters are held in such high regard as the Blood Angels. None, in fact, are held in such high regard as the Blood Angels. The Sons of Sanguinius have such an unorthodox chapter in cult and order of battle involving distinctive formations, unusual tactics, I wouldn't say they're that unusual, and mighty heroes that require their own codex to accompany them and play their unique miniatures. So here is a very quick overview of what we're going to see in the new box. We are going to see precisely what Valrak predicted, actually. Primaris, Lemartes, Primaris, Astorath, 10 Intercessors Assault Death Company on foot, 10 Intercessors with jump packs, Death Company again, and a Death Company Brutalis Dreadnought. I don't think there's anything unique about any of the Primaris models, potentially, except maybe like one new upgrade weapon on the attached upgrade sprue. We are going to get this gorgeous sort of like black and red, or black and white with a little bit of red box, which looks amazing. You get a limited edition codex. There's a new decal sheet there, and for those eagle-eyed players, you might have noticed there's a bunch of Flesh Tearers transfers on them, and it's very difficult to get Blood Angels transfers at the moment. So this is cool, and they put some data sheets up there. They're not quite big enough for us to get any information from, but we do get some information from other data sheets as we move on. Right. So if you are worried about where the red is, don't worry. There's going to be lots of red in due course. So that's maybe a hint that there's going to be more new Blood Angels coming, and perhaps a little gold. The other rumor that's floating, obviously, is that we're going to get new Sangre Guard. But these Adeptus Astartes have well and truly fallen to the curse of the Black Rage. Noble and disciplined Space Marines are becoming a raging berserkers consigned to the Death Company. It is very interesting that they get Lemartes, who is a bonkers Death Company guy who's just holding it in check, and say to him, hey, would you like to go Primaris? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. With his skull and his teeth and his fangs, he takes 5 minutes out of his day to cross the Rubicon. So that's interesting. So the Black Rage has plagued the chapter's gene seed since the Horus Heresy, shredding their minds and forcing them to relive their dying moments of their beloved Primarch over and over. And obviously we will shout Horus a lot when that's happening. We lash out our enemies in unquestionable fury. Few have ever managed to hold this madness in check, but one of those heroes returns to lead the Death Company with a brand new miniature. That is Captain Lemartes, Guardian of the Lost. Yeah, so one of the two, I guess, in Mephiston being the other one that's pretty much held the Black Rage in check. So a lot of people have speculated that this is an Absorber bolt pistol, so a slightly better bolt pistol than he has before. He still has his Iron Halo, so I imagine not too much is probably going to change with Lemartes. He still has his Crozius, but the new model is very interesting. I think the pose is pretty cool. I like that he's on like a static base rather than a flight stand. I don't mind flight stands, but I think this is cool, and it's very much sort of like that Wolverine pose, right, with his arms out, so that's cool. So Lemartes himself is still in the grip of madness. Through sheer indomitable willpower, he maintains his faculties and manages to lead his falling brothers on the charge. He's a ferocious force of nature in battle, and his new miniature captures a positive feral pose atop a shattered stairway. So I think his new miniature does look a lot better. The current one is fine cast, and it's probably like 10 or 15 years old at this point. The current one, a lot of the detail on the chest piece is lost, so I guess this guy being able to be painted up as a Primaris, as a Blood Angel, is going to be very cool. The one thing that I want to say is this guy has a lot of little intricacies, you know, the custom sort of chest piece, the custom these are called pauldrons, right? I think on the feet. And unfortunately, we're not going to see that on the regular miniatures as we come to them. So speaking of chaplains, Astorath, the High Chaplain of the Blood Angels, has not been sitting idly by. As the Redeemer of the Lost, it is his grim duty to grant the Emperor's peace. So if you haven't read the Astorath book, he goes around in the Astorath book. He is the guy that basically puts the Death Company of his own chapter to, or other successor chapters of Blood Angels, he slaughters them. He slaughters his own kind with their axe when they're too far gone, right? I guess at some point when you go Death Company, if you do survive that initial battle and you rampage through your enemies, you are still seeing Horus all the time. You are too far gone, and it is Astorath's job to basically get rid of the remaining crazed Death Company. His armor set has been done Primaris, and if you've read the book, you'll know that his last set of armor was basically completely destroyed. So they've kept him with a very unique, similar style armor set. This would obviously be all new armor, that he is bigger and he is Primaris, and for whom an honorable death in battle is no longer possible. Yeah, so the Death Company Marines that have basically gone one step too far. They're just crazed lunatics. There's no controlling them anymore. There's no battle to be had. The Blood Angels have obviously vanquished their foes, and these guys just need mercy through his axe. I forget off the top of my head what the name of the axe is. Astorath's new miniature regains his classic pose, leaping through the air with help of an ornate wing jump pack. So he's got the new jump pack that Commander Dante has, with the little wings on it. He has the Executioner's axe, of course, gripped in both hands. And if you ever had this axe in metal or fine cast, it broke all the time. So hopefully this new plastic sculpt, we don't have that same issue. The golden details and intricate musculature on his armor are picked out even more closely than before, staying true to the original miniature. So this is a quite a good homage to the original miniature, and his wings are very cool, and I could perceive myself buying a second Astorath once he's available in like a blister box or whatever they call those individual character boxes now, just to get a set of these wings. These wings would probably fit on any Blood Angel character you wanted to be unique, be it a jump captain, be it Commander Dante. You guys know obviously I put Dante wings on my Dante already. I use the Sanguinor's wings, but these are significantly sized wings, so these are going to be pretty epic, and it looks like they're built straight into the jump pack. So maybe the whole jump pack back piece is kind of unique to him, and that will give you options, and I love making conversions, so that's all about me. So the rest of the set comprises of 20 Death Company Intercessors. So that's what they're being called now. They're not Death Company Marines, but I think in the Codex, because we've got a picture of that later on, they still do call them Death Company Marines with jump packs. But essentially what these guys are Death Company Intercessors. So 10 with jump packs, 10 without, who can be customized extensively with 4 sets of brand new upgrades and transfers. So I wouldn't go as far as to say they can be customized extensively. From what we've seen in these pictures, basically every model almost has a heavy bolt pistol and a chainsword. So it's heavy bolt pistols and chainswords all the way through. This one guy has a power fist, and I believe in one of the reveals, oh, here he is, this one guy on foot has an eviscerator. So cool to see the eviscerator. I mean, that makes total thematic sense. I think that's super cool. I would happily give up their pistols to have eviscerators, but from the looks of things in the upgrade sprue, there is only going to be one eviscerator, and I imagine that the actual sprue of Death Company Marines and the actual sprue of Death Company Jump Intercessors, from the looks of things, these guys are just the exact same sprues as the Assault Marines. And for me, this is bad. I don't like this. I like how much detail the current Death Company Marines have on them. I think it's super interesting. They have so many good upgrades and pieces. I really wanted to just hit that home by saying, if you buy the old Death Company Marines, bear in mind the shoulder pads on the normal Firstborn Marines fit perfectly onto those Primaris Marines. Look at the heraldry and the uniqueness on these. You've got 10, 2 down here, and basically 10 across the top. Look how cool and unique all these shoulder pads are. These Death Company shoulder pads are going to be worth their weight in gold. There could actually be an argument to buy a box of Firstborn Death Company right now, because we know you can put the jump packs on Primaris Marines. It doesn't look that bad, so you get 5 jump packs. You get these super cool tech. I really don't want them to discontinue these. I think these are some of the coolest shoulder pads that we've seen. You also get these little wings that you can attach like to shoulder blades or wherever. You also had like the winged Blood Angels chainswords with the blood drops on them. If you could take it even one step further, you had all the bolters with the ropes, and you had the bolt pistols with the blood drops attached to them. Their legs, you're not going to get to see both sides of the sprues, but the legs had lots of purity seals and other stuff on them. You had blood drops on the jump packs, you had Death Company crosses on the jump packs, you had all these custom chest pieces, and unfortunately all the heads are facing away from camera, but trust me when I say you got like 5 or 6 really cool helmeted heads with that Firstborn Death Company. Whereas now, I can understand them taking away some weapon options, but I feel very sad that, yes, we've got a little blood drop we can attach up here, but I think very, very, very few Blood Angel specific bits kicking around here. I guess you got a couple of blood drops on the eviscerator. That is something. Let's move on. So these upgrades feature a wealth of cosmetic elements, including blood drops, accessories, sculpted pauldrons, and noble balite visages. I've never heard that word before, actually. As well as signature items of war gear suited for the savage sons of Sanguinius, such as infernal pistols. They lied. It's such as an infernal pistol. So you get one infernal pistol on the upgrade sprue, and you get one eviscerator. Now, I'm pretty disappointed about this upgrade sprue, to be honest, because one eviscerator and one infernal pistol. I believe the Black Templars get this upgrade sprue, or a similar size upgrade sprue, and it's about 25 bucks. We already know that Terminators should probably have power fists. There is no power fists on this upgrade sprue, and I was looking for Primaris power fists just the other night, so there's no power fists on the upgrade sprue. There is, of course, chain swords, even though everybody already has chain swords. There's only one helmet. There's a Terminator helmet, but there's only one helmet with the blood drop. That is a cool helmet that used to be more available. It's not really available these days. Maybe on the other upgrade sprue we have a few trinket bits. We have like one chest shield, I forget what those are called, and we've got like standard blood drop shoulder pads, probably about 12 of them, and then some. That's a Terminator shoulder pad. That is like a Gravis shoulder pad times 2, and then like a couple of captain or lieutenant shoulder pads. But overall, a couple of blood drops here and there, couple of little crosses. I believe one of these little crosses is maybe for the Death Company Dreadnought, which we'll get to in a minute. But overall, my first impression, and I guess a new chest piece for, I guess, some of the Terminators that are coming out. A blood drop on a Stormbolter. So this upgrade sprue doesn't feel like it's going to be great. And the fact that there's only two real weapons that you would maybe want with Death Company, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. Death Company are going to be in a sorry state, I'll tell you, if it's all chainswords. I mean, literally nobody plays Death Company Intercessors at the moment. They are kind of expensive. They just don't get any play. So I guess we're going to see. So rounding out things is the Brutalis Dreadnought, and this is what I was talking about. There's a little skull here on the Brutalis Dreadnought, and as far as I'm aware, that is the only thing that I can see that they have added to this model to make him more Blood Angels. They've obviously, they've had painted the crosses on. Cool. But a Death Company badge is provided in the new upgrade sprues. Yeah, like I think one of, maybe this. Oh, maybe there's this winged badge as well. So maybe you could put that on a shoulder pad, or maybe onto a tank. I'm not entirely sure if it would fit on these rounded shoulder pads. So you can maybe find somewhere to get this winged blood drop in. The new Codex supplement is included in the box. And it provides rules for fielding Death Company Dreadnought. So I think what's going to happen, is your firstborn Death Company Dreadnought is going to be deceased, removed, and we're going to be replacing him with the Death Company Brutalis. I've actually painted one of my Redemptors previously in that black colour, and it looks totally badass. So it's going to be nice to get some rules for that. I would have liked it to be a little bit more themed. Like, we could have definitely had some sort of, like, golden sarcophagus, maybe, or an inside piece, that sarcophagus, the top and bottom panels in the middle of Dreadnought open. So that would have been nice as well, but, this is what we've got. So we've got the brand new Codex supplement, Blood Angels. It's got this classic piece of art on it, which is cool, and I bought the Codex, the limited edition Codex before. It basically has a soft cover, and it had a bookmark when I bought it before. I wouldn't only buy the box if you only need the Codex, right? Like, it's a slightly nicer book, but here's the thing. The book will be out of date in 18 months when 10th edition comes out. So if the book is your only thing that you're worried about, I'd probably just get the standard Codex. And if you're like me, my Codex gets thrown in a backpack when I'm traveling all the time, so it's really hard to keep it pristine as well. So, okay, so we've got the Codex, featuring an exclusive cover. Yeah, the cover is cool. You're also going to get data cards for all 18 data sheets in the book. So that means we are losing some data sheets from this book. And we're going to do another video on that when we know what they are. And I'm also going to be live on the Grots channel on Thursday night. We're going to be talking about all the reveals. So come over and check out the 3 Grots on YouTube on Thursday night. We'll be talking about all the reveals. We'll be diving into the box in even more detail. What we can glean is these pictures here are big enough where we can open them I was going to say, let me open that in a new tab, and we'll zoom in a little bit and see what we can see. And what we can see is Commander Dante has had, this is very difficult to read and it's low text, but basically Commander Dante in the current iteration is going to give you +1 to your charge roll. They have changed it to give you +1 to advance on charge. There's a little bit of a debate about his axe only doing 1 damage. I actually do think that's still a 2, but I think it's very hard to read. And then the other big change is if you look at Mephisto, and everybody wanted him to lead Blade Guard veterans. Unfortunately, that is not going to be the case for Mephisto. He now has a Feel No Pain 4-up. Hard to read that again, but it does say 4-up. And he also has the Lone Operative ability. So Mephisto has changed. We all wanted him to lead. At the moment, he was pretty much only leading Assault Intercessors, and very few people were playing him because his damage, his D3 sword is too swingy to be reliable in any sort of serious game. So he doesn't get very much play at the moment. I really hope if they fixed one thing, they fixed his damage 3 sword or his D3 sword. But what they have done is given him a 4-up Feel No Pain and made him a Lone Operative. So I guess that opens the question. Sorry, I just swore and didn't mean to swear, just holding up a third finger. I guess, does that open up the question that they will bring back the ability for Mephisto to fly? Because if he does not have fly and he's only moving 7 inches, I guess he's just running across the tabletop by himself. I mean, maybe, I guess, but I can't. Having played him in a bunch of games, even attached to a squad, his damage output is not reliable at all because his sword is D3 damage, so you can't really use him effectively as he currently is. So hopefully something's been done and he's maybe going to be more viable, but I think he would have been better if he could have led Blade Guard. I guess time will tell on that, and maybe I'll be wrong. I'll be first to hold up my hands and say I'm wrong if we get to play Mephisto in a competitive setting, but at the moment I just don't think you can play him competitively. Like, he just is too random. His ability is random, his smite is random, his sword is random. Like, you can't play him unless you're just having fun. You can play him if you want to have fun, I guess. Okay, this does also mean the regular Codex supplement is on its way for those with a more stable mind who have yet to succumb to madness. So here is the regular Codex, and I think that is using the artwork from last edition. If that's the artwork that's on my collector's edition Codex from last edition. I don't know what the normal artwork was last edition, but I think it's that. So rest assured, we'll be looking into the new Codex in great detail, and don't worry, I will be looking into the new Codex here on the channel as well in great detail, and we'll be covering it all. So the one thing, so what jumps out to me, right, is like, how much is this box going to cost? Because there's actually quite a lot in here, right? Like, you got 2 squads of Assault Intercessors. They're like $30 each, so that would be 60. You got 2 squads of Jump Assault Intercessors. Again, that's probably at least $60. You got 2 characters. Characters are edging on $25-30 now. You've got a Brutalis Dreadnought, which is probably 50. You've got the limited edition Codex, which is probably 40. So you've probably, and then data cards. I mean, maybe data cards and transfers, maybe put a tenner on that. So in the UK, there's probably $260 worth of models in this box. So if this box is retailing for anywhere between like $125 and $150, it's probably going to be a reasonably accessible and a reasonably priced way to jump into Blood Angels and get a lot of useful models. The weird thing for me with this box is I literally own everything in this box already, right? Like, I was building Jump Intercessors the other night. I already have 25. I have Assault Intercessors. I already have 20. Obviously, I have Astorath and Lemartes. I was building a Brutalis Dreadnought, which I have lost, but I will find him. I don't know how I've lost him. He was half built. So the weird thing is there's nothing new. And the other part of it is, like, it's disappointing that the Jump Intercessors and the regular Intercessors are not using anywhere near the level of customization and unique heraldry, right, that like those Death Company sprues have of old. Now, it's a whole other argument to argue about, like, all the Death Company have chainswords, and right now we know in the meta all the Death Company have power fists and infernal pistols. And one thing that is been happened over and over with Primaris releases, I guess, is the models that come in the box are how you get to arm them. You can't just throw a power fist on everybody. We know that. It sounds like we're going to be able to put an eviscerator into these guys. We're going to be able to put maybe like a power fist. We don't know how much this will change Death Company. Maybe this will make Death Company cheaper, but you'll be able to run more of them or something. I don't know how it's going to change Death Company. I guess the days of 10 Infernal Pistols and 10 Power Fists, which is kind of broken, I suppose, at the moment. It's just very, very strong, and with Rapid Ingress in 10th edition and people having figured that out, it's super strong, right? So maybe that's going to change Death Company a lot. Hopefully there's something in this box that actually makes people want to play Death Company Intercessors on foot, because nobody plays that. But regardless, the thing I think I'm most disappointed about is, like I said, that Death Company box from the Classic has basically 10 really cool shoulder pads, 5 really cool helmets, and lots of other little Death Company bits. And I really don't think this upgrade sprue comes close to that. After a while, after you've done like two, because for years now, I suppose, right? Like if you buy Primaris upgrade sprues, this is all you get, right? Shoulder pads with a blood emblem on them and the wings. And that's all you've had for years. And I actually found myself feeling very lucky that I started collecting the hobby many years ago and had tons of old, let's say, Terminator shoulder pads that were Blood Angels, Sangre Guard shoulder pads that were Blood Angels, Death Company shoulder pads, and helmets, right? So if we are getting a Sangre Guard release soon, let's hope for some of that. But overall, I'm finding it hard to not be disappointed with upgrade sprue. Time will tell, obviously. And with the box looking as cool as it does, I think it's going to be very difficult for me to not buy it, even though, like I said, I have everything inside it. But the last thing I want to say is probably, I'm going to roll the video in a second, so we'll end the stream with the video, and you can, if you haven't seen it already, or you can check out on Warhammer Community. But I think the last thing to say is, I really do hate these FOMO boxes. Like, they really force you to buy. I guess you get models that you don't need. You can always flip them on eBay, so it's not the end of the world. But I think probably by the time you buy Astorath and Lemartes and the Codex, and maybe an upgrade sprue, you're probably going to get very similar to that by buying the box. It's probably not going to cost you a whole lot more to get the box. I guess time will tell. So there's a lot to dive into. Dante with a small rule tweak, Mephiston with a small rule tweak. I went and looked at eviscerators from Assault Marines. If you haven't played an eviscerator in a while, and I hadn't either, there was a data sheet for Assault Marines. It's in Legends right now, and an eviscerator is -1 to your weapon skill, strength 7, -2 damage. So I imagine an eviscerator is slightly weaker than a power fist. It will be cool to get eviscerators back. They certainly look cool and nice and big on the Blood Angels characters. So let me know in the comments what you are most stoked about. Are you going to buy the box? What do you think? And which unit are we going to lose? Because apparently we're losing one data sheet. I think it probably has to be Death Company Marines, not Death Company, to be confused with Death Company Intercessors. I think Firstborn Death Company Marines are gone. I think Death Company Marines with jump packs are now replaced with a Primaris version. I mean, I did like the shot there where they're all yelling. It did look cool, but I do really miss my Firstborn helmets. Some of them were so cool, especially the knightly ones with the blood drops and stuff. I think the Death Company Dreadnought is replaced with the Death Company Brutalis. Obviously, Astorath and Lemartes get replaced. I think Astorath might be... No, I think Lemartes might be my favourite model out of this. He just looks super cool, right? Astorath sculpt is nice. The wings are going to be super cool, but I think Lemartes might be my favourite. So let me know your favourite. Let me know what you think. You are free to disagree with me. I am not infallible. Everything said in this video is my opinion. We'll be here for more to talk about all the new Blood Angel stuff when it comes. And I'll probably have to make a bunch of new tactics videos now that Death Company are going to just be completely different. So maybe one of the guys in Discord today said maybe the Judasar with the Blade Guard veteran inside the Impulsor could start seeing some more interesting Blood Angels plays. So maybe if Death Company lose all their special weapons, we have to rely on something more like guys with swords. And that could also be a great segue for the new Sangre Guard that apparently are coming. And I imagine those guys will have swords. Or axes. They could have axes. Yeah. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you had a great day. I hope you're excited. I I guess we start saving now, because this box will probably be gone pretty quickly. If nothing else, the artwork on the front of it is super, super cool. So, I'll see you guys all soon. Thanks ever so much for watching. Peace. Have a great evening.